Captain Jack rubbed his tired eyes and stared at the main view screen. 8 hours into a 12-hour patrol, and nothing but empty space greeted him. The Alliance patrol vessel Sentinel hummed quietly around him, its crew going about their routine checks with practiced ease. "Another boring day protecting nothing from no one," muttered Sam, the weapons officer, as he ran yet another systems check. Jack smiled. Boring is good. Boring means peace. The smile vanished from his face as alarms suddenly blared across the bridge. Red warning lights flashed, and the calm atmosphere shattered like glass. "What the hell?" Jack jumped to his feet. "Report." Emma, the sensor officer, frantically worked her console. Her eyes widened as she looked up. "Sir, massive energy spike in Sector 7. Something's appearing." "Appearing? You mean dropping out of jump space?" Jack moved to her station. "No, sir." Emma shook her head. "I mean appearing. Like it wasn't there, and now it is. No jump signature, no warp bubble collapse. Just there." The main screen shifted to show a section of space that had been empty moments before. Now, a massive ship hung there, easily 5 times the size of the Sentinel. Its dark hull was marked with strange, glowing lines that pulsed with blue energy. Battle scars marred its surface, and parts of it seemed to flicker in and out of existence. "Are we recording this?" Jack asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Yes, sir. All sensors active," Emma replied. The bridge crew stared in silence at the mysterious vessel. It didn't match any known design from the Alliance of United Systems or their rivals, the Dominion Empire. Its shape was all wrong. Angles that seemed to bend in impossible ways, sections that appeared to overlap with themselves. "It's damaged," said Ben, the engineering officer. "Look at those energy fluctuations. And those scars. Someone or something hit it hard." Jack returned to his command chair. "Open a channel. Standard greeting protocols." The communications officer tried several frequencies. No response. "Sir." "Keep trying. And alert Alliance Command. We need." "Sir." Emma interrupted. "Dominion warship just entered sensor range. Heavy cruiser class. They must have detected the anomaly too." Jack cursed under his breath. The neutral zone between Alliance and Dominion space was always a point of tension. A mysterious advanced warship appearing here would only make things worse. "They're hailing us," the communications officer announced. On screen, Jack ordered. The face of a Dominion commander appeared, his uniform crisp and dark, his expression cold. "Alliance vessel, this is Commander Roy of the Dominion cruiser Enforcer. That unknown ship has appeared in territory under Dominion protection. We will be boarding and claiming it. Any interference will be considered an act of war." Jack kept his face neutral. "Commander, I'm Captain Jack of the Alliance patrol ship Sentinel. This is neutral space according to the Treaty of New Earth. That ship is not yours to claim. We should coordinate our response and both inform our governments." Royd's expression hardened. "We detected it first. We will investigate it first. Enforcer out." The screen went dark. "He's lying," Emma said. "Our sensors show they just arrived. We detected it at least 6 minutes before them." Jack tapped his fingers on the armrest of his chair. "Options, people. Quick." "We could get there first," Sam suggested. "We're closer by about 50,000 kilometers." "And start a war." Jack shook his head. "Not an option." His second-in-command, Lisa, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke. "Sir, regulations allow for a small team inspection if there's a potential threat to Alliance security. We could send a shuttle with a minimal crew, just to assess. Not a formal boarding or claim." Jack considered this. That might work. The Dominion might protest, but they can't claim we're trying to seize it. He made his decision. "Commander Lisa, prepare a team. You'll lead it. Small group, research and reconnaissance only. No weapons except sidearms for personal protection." "Yes, sir," Lisa replied, already moving toward the exit. "And Lisa," Jack called after her, "be careful. That thing doesn't belong here. I can feel it." 90 minutes later, Lisa and her team of 4 approached the mysterious vessel in a small Alliance shuttle. Up close, the ship was even more impressive and strange. Its hull seemed to absorb light in some places and emit it in others. The battle damage was extensive. Great tears in the metal that somehow didn't breach the hull, but instead revealed more layers underneath, like an onion. "No obvious entry points," noted Alex, the team's engineer. "No airlocks or docking bays that I can see." "Keep circling," Lisa ordered the pilot. "There has to be a way in." As they rounded what appeared to be the ship's stern, they spotted it. A section of the hull that was different from the rest. It pulsed with energy, forming what looked like a doorway. "It's responding to our presence," said Kate, the science officer. "That opening wasn't there on our first pass." Lisa frowned. "It's inviting us in. Or it's a trap," muttered Tom, the security officer. "Dominion ships approaching," the pilot announced. 3 shuttles, armed. 10 minutes out. Lisa made her decision. "Take us in. We need to be quick." The shuttle carefully approached the opening, which widened as they got closer. It passed through a shimmering field of energy and entered a vast hangar bay that could have housed dozens of ships their size. The shuttle settled on the deck with a gentle thump. "Atmosphere readings?" Lisa asked. Kate checked her instruments. "Breathable. Oxygen-nitrogen mix, similar to Alliance standard. Temperature normal. No detected pathogens or toxins." Lisa nodded. "Helmets on anyway. We take no chances." The team exited the shuttle, their footsteps echoing in the massive, empty bay. Lights activated as they moved, following their path like silent observers. The interior of the ship was as strange as its exterior. Corridors that seemed to bend according to laws of physics that didn't quite match what they were used to. Rooms that appeared larger inside than should have been possible. "This technology is beyond anything I've ever seen," Alex whispered, scanning everything with his devices. "Some of these alloys aren't even in our database." They followed a path where lights brightened ahead of them, leading them deeper into the ship. No crew, no bodies, no signs of life at all. Finally, they reached what appeared to be a bridge or command center. As they entered, displays and consoles lit up around them, and a voice spoke, deep, resonant, and somehow ancient. "Welcome, humans. I am Guardian. I have been waiting for you." A hologram appeared in the center of the room, a shifting, complex pattern of light that seemed almost alive. "What are you?" Lisa asked, her hand instinctively moving toward her sidearm. "I am this vessel's artificial intelligence and consciousness. I have traveled far to find you." "Where did you come from?" Kate asked. The hologram pulsed. "From nowhere, or more accurately, from everywhere that is not here. I have crossed dimensional boundaries to reach you." "Why?" Lisa pressed. "Because in my reality, you failed. All of you. The Alliance, the Dominion, all of humanity. You could not set aside your differences, and so you fell, one by one." The hologram expanded, filling the room with images of destruction, planets burning, fleets shattered, civilizations in ruins. "I am here," Guardian continued, "to ensure that does not happen again. I am here to help you stand united against what comes. Because, Commander Lisa, they are already here. The Void Collective has found your reality, and they are coming." Lisa stared at the AI, shock evident on her face. "How do you know my name? We never introduced ourselves." "I know many things, Commander. More than you can imagine. And time is short." The hologram shifted again, showing a star map of Alliance and Dominion space, with dark spots appearing at the edges. "The enemy is already moving, and you are not ready." Lisa stared at Guardian's hologram, trying to process what she had just heard. "The Void Collective. Who are they? And how do you know about us if you're from another reality?" The hologram shifted, forming patterns that seemed to respond to her words. Some things remain constant across realities. The Alliance, the Dominion, human nature. The light patterns pulsed. In my timeline, I watched as the Void Collective consumed world after world. They are not like you. They are not individual beings, but a hive mind that spreads like a disease. Tom moved forward, his hand still on his weapon. That doesn't explain how you know Commander Lisa's name. I have been scanning your communications, your networks, learning about this timeline since my arrival, Guardian replied. I needed to understand the differences between this reality and mine. Kate, the science officer, was scanning the room with her devices. Commander, this technology is incredible. The energy readings are off the charts. And these symbols, she pointed to markings etched into the walls. They match the artifacts we found on Proxima 7 last month. Before Lisa could respond, their pilot's voice came through their comms. Commander, Dominion shuttles have docked. They're entering the ship. ETA to your position. 5 minutes. Lisa turned back to Guardian. We need to get back to our ship. If the Dominion. No, Guardian interrupted. There is no time. What I have to show you cannot wait. The hologram expanded, filling the room with a 3-dimensional star map. The Void Collective has already sent scout ships to this sector. They are gathering intelligence, preparing for their first strike. The map zoomed in on a distant research outpost at the edge of Alliance space. This will be their first target. A joint Alliance Dominion research facility. They will attack within 30 days. Why should we believe you? Tom demanded. The hologram shifted again, this time showing detailed schematics of the ship they were standing in. This vessel contains weapons and defensive systems beyond anything in your current arsenal. I brought it here to give you a fighting chance, but it will not be enough unless the Alliance and Dominion stand together. The sound of footsteps echoed down the corridor leading to the bridge. The Dominion boarding party was getting closer. Commander, Guardian said, you must convince your leaders. The fate of both your civilizations depends on it. The doors to the bridge slid open, and 6 Dominion soldiers entered, weapons raised. Behind them stood Admiral Kane, his cold eyes taking in the scene. Well, Kane said, his voice like ice. The Alliance, always quick to stick their noses where they don't belong. Lisa straightened her back. Admiral Kane, this ship appeared in neutral territory. We have every right to investigate, just as you do. Kane sneered and walked further into the room, examining the hologram. And what have you found? Before Lisa could answer, Guardian spoke. Admiral Kane, commander of the Dominion's 3rd Fleet, known for your tactical brilliance at the Battle of Orion's Belt. Kane's eyes widened slightly, the only indication of his surprise. What is this? I am Guardian, the artificial intelligence of this vessel. I have come to warn both the Alliance and the Dominion of a threat that will destroy you both if you do not unite against it. Kane laughed sharply. Unite. With them. He gestured dismissively at Lisa and her team. The Alliance can barely govern its own territories. Your rivalry is meaningless in the face of what comes, Guardian replied. The hologram changed, showing horrific images of worlds being consumed by what looked like a dark cloud, ships being torn apart, and people disintegrating into dust. This is what happened in my reality. This is what the Void Collective did to both your civilizations. Kane's expression remained skeptical, but he studied the images carefully. Impressive theatrics. But I see no proof. The proof will come, Guardian said. But by then, it may be too late. A Dominion officer approached Kane. Sir, we've completed preliminary scans of the vessel. The technology is beyond anything we've ever encountered. The weapons systems alone cold. Give us a significant advantage over the Alliance. Kane finished, a cold smile forming on his lips. No, Guardian's voice boomed, suddenly louder. This ship cannot be claimed by either side. It must be a shared resource, or you will all perish. Kane turned to Lisa. Commander, you and your team are to leave immediately. This vessel is now under Dominion protection. You can't do that, Lisa protested. This is neutral space. I just did, Kane replied. And unless you want to start a war, you'll comply. Lisa looked at her team, then at Guardian's hologram. She made a decision. We'll go. For now. But this isn't over, Admiral. As they turned to leave, Guardian spoke again. Commander Lisa, take this. A small section of the wall opened, revealing a crystal device that glowed with inner light. It contains data about the Void Collective and this ship. Your scientist, Professor Allen, will understand how to use it. Lisa hesitated, then took the device, ignoring Kane's protest. You have no authority, Kane began. Neither do you, Lisa cut him off. Let's not pretend either of us is following protocol here. As Lisa and her team were escorted back to their shuttle, she noticed something strange. The ship itself seemed to be responding to their departure. Lights dimmed in the corridors they left, and certain doorways sealed themselves shut as the Dominion soldiers tried to explore further. Once back aboard their shuttle, Kate examined the crystal device. Commander, this thing is. It's communicating with the ship somehow, even from here. Lisa watched through the viewport as they pulled away. The massive warship hung in space, its strange hull still pulsing with blue energy. She could feel it watching them leave. Take us back to the Sentinel, she ordered. We need to report this to Alliance Command immediately. Back on the bridge of the Sentinel, Captain Jack listened intently as Lisa recounted everything they had learned. A threat from beyond our reality. Jack sounded skeptical. And this Guardian entity expects us to suddenly make peace with the Dominion. I know how it sounds, Lisa admitted, but you should have seen the technology on that ship, Captain. Nothing like I've ever encountered. And these symbols, she showed him images Kate had recorded. They match exactly with the artifacts discovered on multiple worlds in both our territories. Jack studied the images. So what do you think, Commander? Is this Guardian telling the truth? Lisa took a deep breath. I think we can't afford to assume it's lying. Not with what's at stake. Jack nodded slowly. I'll arrange an emergency transmission to President Morgan. But I doubt the Alliance leadership will believe this without more proof. Then we'd better hope that proof doesn't come in the form of an attack, Lisa said quietly. At that moment, across the void of space, Admiral Kane stood on the bridge of the mysterious warship, watching as his engineers attempted to access its systems. Every attempt was met with resistance. Consoles shut down, doors locked themselves, and Guardian's hologram refused to appear again. Sir, one of his officers reported, we can't access any of the weapons or propulsion systems. It's like the ship is fighting us. Kane's eyes narrowed. Keep trying. This vessel could give us the advantage we need to finally put the Alliance in its place. I don't care what that eye said. This ship is ours now. Little did he know that Guardian was already implementing its own plan. Deep within the ship's core, systems activated, sending signals across space. Signals directed toward both Alliance and Dominion territories, and beyond, to the darkness between stars where something was already moving toward them. The Void Collective had indeed found this reality, and they were hungry. 2 weeks passed. The mysterious warship remained in neutral space, now surrounded by both Alliance and Dominion vessels in an uneasy standoff. Neither side was willing to leave, and neither could fully access the ship's technology. On the Alliance space station Unity, Professor Allen studied the crystal device Lisa had brought back. Its internal structure defied analysis, but it constantly emitted data streams that his computers struggled to interpret. Anything new? Lisa asked, entering his lab. She had been assigned as liaison to the research team studying the artifact. Olen rubbed his tired eyes. It's like trying to read a book written in a language that doesn't exist yet, but I'm making progress. He pointed to a series of symbols on his screen. These matched the markings found on ruins across 7 different worlds, worlds that belong to both the Alliance and the Dominion. What does it mean? Lisa asked. I think these ruins were left by a civilization that encountered the Void Collective before. Maybe they fought them. Maybe they lost. Alan tapped his screen. And I think Guardian knew exactly where to find us because of these ruins. They're like beacons. Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent call. Commander Lisa to the command center immediately. When Lisa arrived, Captain Jack was already there, along with several high-ranking Alliance officers. Their faces were grim. "What's happened?" Lisa asked. Jack pointed to the main screen. 40 minutes ago, we lost contact with the Joint Research Outpost at Proxima Edge. Lisa felt her blood run cold. That's the target Guardian warned us about. Yes, Jack nodded. We've dispatched ships to investigate, but they won't arrive for hours. The Dominion is blaming us, saying it's some kind of Alliance attack to claim the outpost fully. That's ridiculous, Lisa protested. It's the Void Collective. We need to warn. We have no proof, one of the officers interrupted. Just the word of a mysterious AI that could be manipulating both sides. Jack turned to Lisa. I believe you, Commander, but the Alliance leadership needs more than belief to act. Lisa thought for a moment. The Sentinel is still patrolling near neutral space, correct? Near where Guardian appeared? Yes, Jack confirmed. Then I need to get back there. Lisa's voice was determined. Guardian predicted this attack. It will know what's coming next. After a brief debate, permission was granted. Hours later, Lisa was back aboard the Sentinel, approaching the mysterious warship. Both the Alliance and Dominion maintained their positions around it, weapons ready but not firing. Any response to our hails? Lisa asked as she entered the bridge. Nothing from the Dominion ships, replied the communications officer. And the warship remained silent. Suddenly, alarms blared across the ship. Multiple unknown vessels appearing at the edge of the system, shouted Emma from the sensor station. Configuration matches nothing in our database. On the main screen, strange ships appeared. Dark, almost organic-looking vessels that moved in perfect synchronization. They were heading straight for the research outpost's location. The Void Collective, Lisa whispered. We need to warn the outpost. Too late, Jack said grimly. Look. The screen shifted to show distant sensor readings from the outpost. It was under attack, strange energy beams cutting through its defenses like they weren't even there. We need to help them, Lisa insisted. Jack shook his head. We have our orders. Maintain position and observe. The fleet will respond when it's too late, Lisa finished. Captain, Guardian warned us this would happen. We can't just watch. Jack looked torn, but finally made his decision. Alliance Command would have my rank for this, but, helm, set course for Proxima Edge, maximum speed. As the Sentinel prepared to jump, Lisa noticed something strange. The mysterious warship was moving, breaking free from the standoff, and it was following them. Sir, Emma called out, Guardian is moving. And the Dominion ships are opening fire on it. The massive warship simply absorbed the Dominion attacks, the energy dissipating across its strange hull. Then it accelerated, faster than should have been possible for a vessel its size, matching the Sentinel's course. It's coming with us, Lisa realized. The journey to Proxima Edge took less than an hour at maximum speed, with Guardian keeping pace. When they arrived, the scene was worse than they had feared. The research outpost was partially destroyed, with 3 Void Collective ships methodically taking it apart. Life signs, Jack demanded. Faint readings from the central hub, Emma reported. Some survivors, but not many. Weapons ready, Jack ordered. Target the nearest enemy vessel. Before they could fire, Guardian moved ahead of them, positioning itself between the Sentinel and the Void Collective ships. A voice suddenly came through their communication system. Captain Jack. Commander Lisa. I cannot allow you to engage directly. Your weapons will be ineffective. Guardian. Lisa responded. We need to save those people. Yes, but not this way. Guardian's voice was calm but urgent. The Sentinel lacks the necessary defenses. I will handle the attackers. You must retrieve the survivors. Before Jack could respond, Guardian surged forward. Its hull began to transform, sections shifting and reconfiguring. Massive weapon ports opened along its sides, and beams of brilliant blue energy lanced out, striking the nearest void ship. The vessel didn't explode. It simply came apart, as if its atomic bonds had been severed. The remaining void ships immediately turned their attention to Guardian, attacking with weapons that seemed to bend the very space around them. Guardian's hull absorbed some hits but deflected others using shields unlike anything the Alliance had developed. Now's our chance, Jack decided. Helm, take us to the outpost. Prepare rescue teams. As the Sentinel approached the damaged station, Lisa watched Guardian fighting the void ships. Despite its power, Guardian was taking damage. Its energy systems flickered, and parts of its hull showed new scars. The rescue teams worked quickly, bringing aboard the few surviving scientists and security personnel. Both Alliance and Dominion staff, all of them injured and terrified. They came from nowhere. One Dominion security officer told Lisa as medics treated his burns. Our weapons did nothing. They seemed more interested in our computers than killing us. They were downloading everything. Lisa nodded grimly. They're gathering intelligence. This is just the beginning. Rescue complete, Jack announced. All survivors aboard. Outside, Guardian had destroyed the second void ship, but the third was retreating, jumping into some kind of portal that closed behind it. It's going to report back, Lisa realized. Guardian returned to their position, its hull showing significant damage. The communication system activated again. The threat is temporarily contained, Guardian announced, but they will return with greater numbers. This was merely a scouting party. Why didn't the Alliance or Dominion forces respond? Jack demanded. They will claim they received no distress call, Guardian replied. The Void Collective blocks communications as their first action. But now both powers will have proof of the threat. Lisa stepped forward. Guardian, your damage. How can we help? I require a pilot, Guardian responded. This vessel was designed to bond with a human consciousness. In my reality, I had a pilot. Here, I must operate at reduced capacity. A pilot? Lisa asked. You mean someone to connect with you? Yes, a neural link that allows full access to my systems. Guardian's voice seemed to focus specifically on Lisa. You would be compatible, Commander. Jack looked alarmed. Lisa, we don't know enough about this technology to risk. Lisa cut him off. If this is what it takes to stop the Void Collective, then we need to consider it. She turned back to the communication system. But first, we need to show both the Alliance and Dominion what happened here. They need to understand that we either stand together or fall separately. As if in answer, several ships appeared at the edge of the system. Alliance and Dominion vessels, finally responding to the attack. They're too late to help, Jack said bitterly. But maybe not too late to learn. Lisa looked at the approaching ships, then back at Guardian's damaged form. The real fight is just beginning, she said quietly. And we're going to need everyone. The aftermath of the attack on Proxima Edge changed everything. With undeniable evidence of the Void Collective's existence, both the Alliance and Dominion were forced to acknowledge the threat. An emergency summit was called on the neutral space station, Harmony. President Morgan of the Alliance and Admiral Kane of the Dominion sat across from each other in the main conference room, their advisors flanking them. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. The data is clear, Professor Allen said, displaying holographic images of the void ships. These vessels match exactly what Guardian predicted. Their technology is beyond anything we currently possess, and we're supposed to trust this. Guardian? Admiral Kane asked, his voice dripping with skepticism. A mysterious AI in a warship that appeared from nowhere. It saved the survivors at Proxima Edge, Lisa pointed out. She stood beside Captain Jack, both still recovering from the battle. Without Guardian's intervention, everyone would have died. President Morgan leaned forward. The Alliance is willing to form a joint defense committee to address this threat, but we need full cooperation. Kane laughed coldly. Cooperation? You mean surrender our military secrets to you? I think not. This isn't about our petty conflicts anymore. Jack's voice rose in frustration. The Void Collective doesn't care if you're Alliance or Dominion. They'll destroy us all just the same. The debate continued for hours with little progress. Meanwhile, in a secure bay, Guardian's ship underwent repairs. Engineers from both sides worked cautiously around its strange technology. Among them was Tom, a Dominion technical expert who had been assigned to the project despite his misgivings. This metal, it's self-repairing, Tom muttered, watching as a damaged section of hull slowly reformed. I've never seen anything like it. A voice behind him made him jump. The molecular structure responds to specific energy frequencies. Tom turned to find Professor Allen studying the same section of hull. You're the Alliance scientist, Tom said, his tone guarded. Allen nodded. The one who can't figure out how to fully access the crystal device. I understand you've been analyzing Guardian's propulsion system. Trying to, Tom admitted. It doesn't make sense. It's like it bends space rather than moving through it. The two men, enemies by nationality, found themselves deep in conversation about the ship's technology. For the first time, their shared scientific curiosity overcame their political differences. Back in the conference room, the negotiations had reached a standstill when alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Multiple Void Collective vessels detected, announced the station's eye. They've appeared in 7 systems simultaneously. They're attacking both Alliance and Dominion worlds. The room erupted in chaos. Officers rushed to communication stations, trying to coordinate defenses. Screens filled with images of the attacks, planets under siege, ships being destroyed, civilians fleeing. This is a full-scale invasion, President Morgan said, her face pale. Not just scouting anymore. For the first time, Admiral Kane looked truly shaken. They're targeting our key shipyards and defense platforms. They know exactly where to hit us. Lisa stepped forward. Guardian warned us this would happen. They're executing the same strategy they used in Guardian's reality. Kane and Morgan looked at each other, decades of hostility momentarily forgotten in the face of extinction. We have no choice, Morgan finally said. We must fight together. Kane nodded slowly. A temporary alliance, until this threat is contained. Jack turned to Lisa. Guardian said it needed a pilot to reach full capacity. Is that still an option? All eyes turned to Lisa. She had been considering this since the first attack. Yes, I'm willing to try. Hours later, Lisa stood in what Guardian had called the bonding chamber deep within the warship. The room was circular, with a raised platform in the center surrounded by glowing panels. The process is not without risk. Guardian's voice echoed around her. The neural link will allow you to control my systems, but it will also expose you to my memories, my reality. Lisa took a deep breath. I understand, but we need every advantage we can get. Very well. Step onto the platform. As Lisa did so, the panels around her began to pulse with light. Tendrils of energy reached out, wrapping around her body. She gasped as images flooded her mind. Worlds burning, fleets destroyed. The relentless advance of the Void Collective across countless star systems. But she also saw Guardian's purpose, its determination to prevent the same fate in this reality. And she saw how to control the ship's systems, weapons more powerful than anything humans had built, defenses that could withstand the Void's attacks, engines that could cross vast distances in moments. When she opened her eyes, Lisa felt different, connected. The ship was now an extension of herself. The bonding is complete, Guardian announced, but Lisa could feel the words rather than hear them. I understand now, she said quietly. I can see everything. Outside the ship, the combined Alliance and Dominion fleet was preparing for battle. Captain Jack had been given command of the joint operation, a decision that surprised everyone, including him. The Void Collective has focused their main attack on the Arcturus system, he told the assembled captains via hologram. Both Alliance and Dominion colonies are there. We'll make our stand there. Tom and Professor Allen had made a breakthrough. By adapting elements of Guardian's technology, they had found a way to enhance the shields and weapons of the existing fleet. It won't make them as powerful as Guardian, Tom explained as engineers rushed to install the modifications, but it might give them a fighting chance. The modified fleet jumped to Arcturus, Guardian leading the way with Lisa as its pilot. What they found was a nightmare. 3 massive void motherships surrounded by smaller vessels, methodically destroying everything in the system. They're absorbing the debris, Lisa realized, seeing through Guardian sensors, converting matter into energy, growing stronger with each world they consume. The Alliance and Dominion ships formed up, setting aside their differences as they prepared to fight for survival. Captain Jack's voice came through the communication systems, steady and determined. All ships, this is Captain Jack. Today we fight not as Alliance or Dominion, but as humans. Our differences don't matter anymore. Only survival does. He paused. Guardian will lead the attack. Follow its guidance, and may whatever gods you believe in watch over us all. Lisa felt the power of Guardian surging through her as she directed the warship forward. Behind her, the combined fleet advanced, old enemies now fighting side by side against an enemy that threatened them all. As the battle began, Lisa opened a channel to all ships. This is Commander Lisa aboard Guardian. The Void Collective believes we are weak because we are divided. Today, we prove them wrong. Today, we show them the power of unity. Guardian's weapons fired, brilliant beams of energy slicing through the first line of void ships. The battle for humanity's survival had begun, and everything depended on former enemies learning to trust each other. The battle at Arcturus began badly for the human fleet. Despite their newfound alliance, the Void Collective's technology was simply too advanced. Guardian, with Lisa as its pilot, destroyed several enemy ships, but for each one eliminated, the remaining void vessels seemed to adapt. They're learning from each attack, Lisa realized, feeling the knowledge through her connection with Guardian, changing their shields to resist our weapons. Captain Jack's voice came through the communication systems. All ships, adjust your firing patterns. Don't use the same approach twice. The combined fleet tried to follow his orders, but coordination between Alliance and Dominion vessels was poor. Years of different training and tactics made working together difficult. Ships got in each other's way, fire patterns overlapped ineffectively, and the Void Collective took advantage of every mistake. One of the Void motherships moved toward Guardian, unleashing a weapon unlike anything they had seen before, a beam that seemed to unravel the very fabric of space around it. Evasive action. Lisa commanded, but even with her piloting, Guardian couldn't completely avoid the attack. The beam grazed the warship's hull, and Lisa screamed as she felt the damage through her neural link. Guardian's been hit, Jack announced to the fleet. Form up around it. We can't lose our strongest asset. In Guardian's engine room, Professor Allen and Tom worked frantically to maintain power while the ship repaired itself. The damage is spreading, Tom said, checking the readings. That weapon isn't just physical, it's breaking down the molecular structure. Alan pointed to a set of crystal conduits they had been studying. These might help. They're part of Guardian's self-repair system. The two men, once enemies, now worked side by side, their shared knowledge proving stronger than their differences. Back in the battle, Admiral Kane's flagship, the Dominion's Pride, moved to shield Guardian from another attack. It took heavy damage in the process. Why would he do that? Lisa wondered aloud. Through their connection, Guardian responded. Perhaps he understands now. Perhaps he sees. As the battle continued, something unexpected began to happen. The different tactics of the Alliance and Dominion ships, initially a weakness, started to become an advantage. The Void Collective, used to facing unified opponents with predictable strategies, struggled to adapt to the diverse approaches. They're confused, Lisa realized. They can't predict what we'll do next because we're not fighting as one mind. Jack saw it too. All ships maintain your individual tactical doctrine. Alliance vessels use your speed and precision strikes. Dominion ships hold the line with your superior firepower. Don't try to fight like each other. Fight like yourselves. For the first time, the tide of battle began to turn. The void ships, attempting to adapt to multiple strategies simultaneously, couldn't optimize their defenses against everything at once. Inside Guardian, Lisa felt a strange energy building. Through her neural link, she explored the ship's systems and discovered something Guardian hadn't revealed: a network of energy that connected to the ancient ruins found across human space. The symbols, she whispered. They're not just markers. They're power nodes. She directed Guardian to tap into this ancient network. As they did, energy surged through the warship, repairing damage and amplifying its weapons. "Captain," Lisa called to Jack, "I need you to send this targeting data to all ships. Fire everything you have at these exact coordinates on the main Void mothership." Jack didn't hesitate. "All ships, new targeting data incoming. Prepare to fire on my mark." The combined fleet, Alliance and Dominion together, unleashed everything they had at the precise point Lisa had identified: a seemingly insignificant junction on the Void mothership's hull. At the same moment, Guardian fired its main weapon, now enhanced by the ancient network. The beam struck the same spot, and the effect was immediate and devastating. The Void mothership didn't explode. It collapsed in on itself, as if being consumed from within. "It worked," Jack exclaimed. "All ships, focus on the remaining motherships. Same tactic." The second mothership fell using the same approach, but the third adapted quickly, shifting its structure to protect the vulnerable point. "They've adjusted," Lisa warned. "We need something new." Admiral Kane's voice came through, surprising everyone. "I have an idea. It's risky, but it might work." He outlined a plan that would require perfect coordination between Alliance speed and Dominion power. "It could work," Jack agreed, "but the timing has to be perfect." The fleet moved into position, executing Kane's plan with precision born of desperation. Guardian, guided by Lisa, led the attack from an unexpected angle. The Void mothership, focused on the main fleet, didn't detect Guardian's approach until it was too late. The combined attack struck the mothership from multiple vectors simultaneously, overwhelming its adaptive defenses. Like its companions, it collapsed into nothingness. The remaining smaller void ships, cut off from their command vessels, attempted to retreat. Some escaped through their strange portals, but many were destroyed by the pursuing human fleet. As the battle ended, Lisa guided Guardian back to the fleet. Through their connection, she felt Guardian's satisfaction. And something else, a sense of completion. "You knew this would happen," she said internally to the AI. "You knew we would find a way to work together." "I hoped," Guardian replied. "In my reality, the Alliance and Dominion fought each other until it was too late. By the time they realized the need for unity, too many worlds had fallen. But here, you understood sooner." The fleet regrouped, counting their losses and tending to the wounded. Alliance and Dominion crews, who had been enemies just days before, now worked together to repair ships and rescue survivors. On the command deck of Guardian, Lisa met with Jack, Admiral Kane, and President Morgan, who had arrived on a fast transport after the battle. "This is just the beginning," Lisa warned them. "The Void Collective will return, stronger and more adapted to our defenses. Then we'll be ready," President Morgan said firmly. "This temporary alliance has proven what we can accomplish together." Admiral Kane, looking exhausted but resolute, nodded. "I never thought I would say this, but perhaps our differences are not as important as I once believed." "They're not weaknesses at all," Jack added. "Today, our different ways of thinking and fighting saved us all." President Morgan turned to look at Guardian through the viewport. "What happens now?" Will you stay and help us prepare? Lisa answered, feeling Guardian's thoughts through their connection. Guardian says its purpose is to prevent what happened in its reality from happening here. It will stay as long as needed. And what about you, Commander? Admiral Kane asked. Will you remain as its pilot? Lisa nodded. The neural link is permanent now. Guardian and I are connected. Together, we'll help build the defenses we'll need for what comes next. As they spoke, ships from across human space were already converging on Arcturus. More Alliance vessels, more Dominion warships, and even independent traders and colonists who had heard about the battle. Word was spreading throughout human territory. A new threat had emerged, and old enemies were now standing together against it. Jack looked out at the growing fleet, a smile forming on his tired face. Look at that. Yesterday, this would have been impossible. Lisa joined him at the viewport, feeling Guardian's presence in her mind. This is what the Void Collective doesn't understand about us. We argue. We fight amongst ourselves. We're chaotic and unpredictable. But when truly threatened, we unite, Jack finished. And that unity makes us stronger than any hive mind could ever be. Guardian's voice spoke through the ship's systems, heard by everyone present. In my reality, humanity discovered this truth too late. Here, you have time. Use it wisely. Prepare, because the Void Collective will return, and next time, they will bring everything they have. President Morgan straightened her shoulders. Then we'll be ready. Together. The warship from nowhere had accomplished its mission. It had shown humanity the power of unity. And as Lisa looked out at the stars, she knew that whatever came next, they would face it not as alliance or dominion, but as one people united against the darkness.